There are four groups of fungi that we are going to be accountable for. And I'm going to write them down for you first of all, and then we'll talk about these different groups. And I'm going to write them in a cladogram. This is sort of my way of fleshing out the fungus part of our giant cladogram. So the first group that we're going to look at is the gotta have a pen. Basidiomycota. And I don't know. We'll see if this is going to work for us. They are most closely related to another group called the Ascomycota. Ascomycota. Are you seeing a pattern here? And they are related to a group called the glomeromycota. I practiced that one and I didn't do a very good job. And they are related to a group called the chytridiomycota. And they are related to the outgroup, which was the nuclearids. And that outgroup has the characteristics, some enough similar characteristics that they are the most closely related protist to the fungi. And then, of course, we could actually put that whole group connected to the animals. I drew this. Remember, the thing about cladograms is that it actually, like the way you draw them, you can spin the cladogram around a node and the relationships stay the same. So how I've drawn this is a little bit different than the way that I've drawn some of the other ones. But if you want to switch it back, just spin this cladogram around this node right here and you'll be just fine. The relationships stay the same. Let's talk a little bit about each of these groups. They're mostly organized by how they reproduce, which, is a pretty interesting thing. Most of these critters in this image that I have right here are Basidiomycota. Basidiomycota are our traditional mushrooms that we are most familiar with. And most of these up here are Basidiomycota. They make a thing called a basidiospore. That's one of the, and a basidia is this little structure that keeps the spores. So maybe we should put basidia up here as opposed to ascus. So a basidium is the reproductive structure for a basidiomycete, and an ascus or an ascospore is the reproductive structure for the ascomycota. The ascomycota, there are a couple apparently ascomycota in this rainbow vision that is here on this image. I don't know which ones are ascomycetes. Often, some familiar ascomycetes are truffles, which I always think of truffles as being totally being mushrooms, but they're a little bit different. Yeasts and morels are also in the ascomycota, and some molds are in there. Yeasts are a significant, we should make a note of that. Ascomycota includes the yeasts because holy cow, glory days, yeast are a really important fungus to humans. Like I said, the Basidiomycota are the really familiar mushrooms that we see around. So the Glomerulomycota, these guys are the ones that do a relationship with plants called mycorrhizae. I don't know how to spell this. And we're going to do a whole section on mycorrhizae. So I'll talk about it in a second. But most of the glomerulomycota that we have an interest in are mycorrhizal fungi that have this symbiotic relationship with plants. And like the roots of plants, they feed the plants, and then the plants actually feed them through photosynthesis, which is really cool. I included this chytridiomycota because this is a really common parasite for amphibians. Frogs are actually frog populations are highly impacted by this parasitic fungus that is infecting their populations and decreasing their numbers. So it's a pretty significant deal. Okay, let's talk about symbiosis because it's so weird. Fungi really like it. Fungi are really good symbionts, and we have some super cool examples of fungal symbioses.